This video is from a smaller wreck. This wreck has started to break up. It's been there quite a while. It started to fall apart, and sediment has started to build up around it. So there's not much of the wreck still visible. This doesn't mean that there's no fish on it. In fact, there are quite a number of fish. This is typical. Any small structure inshore tends to accumulate fish and other animals. Now you'll see that this video doesn't only contain fish, there's something else involved as well. So I hope you enjoy. Thank you. As the bait drifts down through the water column, watch out for the wreck. Now this wreck is well broken up and it's started to be covered by sediment, so there's not a lot of it left. But if you look carefully, just as the baits start to shut down, you'll see what's left. Just coming into frame now. Obviously over time it has broken up and sediment's moved in. That doesn't mean there isn't fish there, of course. First large fish that appears is a juvenile red emperor. Another name for them is government brim. The markings on their side are supposed to look like the convict shirts. In the background is a smallmouth nannygai, and behind that is a batfish, one of the narrow banded batfish, I suspect. There's a starry triggerfish as well in the background. Another red emperor. These guys would be they'd be just under legal size. If you look in the background, there's the yellowish fish is a hussar. There's a coral trout swimming through behind the wreck as well. The dark coloured fish that's swimming through at the moment is a slaty brim, painted sweetlip. And there's a starry triggerfish as well. You can see there's like a pecking order with fish feeding. It seems to go largely on size, but also on species sometimes. The red emperor at the moment is dominating proceedings. There's a smallmouth nannygai, crimson snapper underneath him there before. Picking up the pieces left over. See a coral trout suspended above the wreck in the background. Might be another one there too, I think. Back comes our red emperor, and with him a smallmouth nannygai, crimson snapper. Of course, it's not only fish that live on wrecks. One of the animals that you see quite frequently is olive sea snakes. And here's one come to have a poke around at the moment. The fish understandably tend to give these a fairly wide berth. They are quite poisonous. You can't see really what he's doing behind there, but quite often they will eat small pieces of the bait. They only have a small mouth, so they can't take the whole thing, but they do tend to try and take some of the bait off at times. It's a wonder we don't catch more on lines. The fish that's coming in there now is a painted sweet lip. More wong, slaty brim, number of names. Here's a group of them. They're very common round wrecks. That's a smallmouth nannygai, crimson snapper. There was a cod just came through briefly there. Comes a gold spot cod just to have a look, and in the foreground a slaty brim. Some coral trout in the background, and along comes our usual larger gold spot cod. These guys take up residence on most of the wrecks. After spending most of their juvenile years in the estuaries close inshore.